What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And I apologize, my internet is acting a plumb fool. But you guys know we are not stopping. So thank you guys for tuning in. Today is Wednesday. It's one of those days. But you guys know I appreciate you for pulling up. So we're going to get started. We got a lot to discuss, okay? We got a lot to go through. So thank you to everybody in the chat. But let's get with it. Here we go. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? How are you guys feeling today? It's Wednesday. It's one of those days. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. I think I can't do the Wi-Fi anymore. I think now that I have all of this stuff, I'm going to have to connect. Okay, I'm going to have to connect straight in. The Wi-Fi is killing me. It drops. It's dragging. I'm starting to get too much. Oh, my Wi-Fi is like I'm doing too much. So I am going to have to upgrade that. It's fine. We're moving on up. All right, you guys. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Got Flavor. I see you. All right. Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Sugar Shane. Thank you, Alicia. I see you guys in the chat. Thank you, your car, Magnetar. Who else is in the chat? Asa. I see you, Isha. What's going on, Emma? I see you guys. All right. You guys, it has been a day, okay? A lot has happened today. A whole lot. The Genius, I see you in the chat. What's up? A lot has happened today, you guys. So we're going to talk about Minnesota. And when I say we're going to talk about Minnesota, we're going to talk about it extensively because so much happened on Minnesota today. Okay. So we're going to talk about Minnesota. We're going to talk about, if you guys don't know, her name is Fawn. I want to say Fawn Weaver. Fawn Weaver. There we go. Now, Fawn Weaver is the CEO of Uncle Nearest. Okay. It's a whiskey. It's a premium whiskey. All right. So we'll get into all of that because there's a lot of drama going on with that. So we're going to talk about that. Again, we're going to talk about Minnesota. We're going to get into Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. Marjorie Trader Greene because she was on The View. All right. We're going to get into that. We are going to get into a lot today. So 2-hour show. 2-hour show. What's going on, Outlaw? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Eric? I see ya. Greg, what's going on? Yeah, 2-hour show. All right. Because I'm telling you, between the chats, rant, we're gonna have a show. We're gonna have a long show. All right. So just hope you're ready. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to get into these quick little stories really quick. You know how I call them. We call them quick shots, okay? These are the first quick shots for 2026. I want to get into these because I thought you guys should know about these, all right? We don't need a long drawn out soliloquy on it, but I think you guys should know about it, all right? Now, the first one I want to get into goes into why I don't like the whole transgender bathroom situation. I want you guys to see this because this right here, this outraged me. All right. I mean, I was completely outraged. A lady at Planet Fitness saw this in the bathroom. Okay. Here we go. Mm-hmm. You guys can't hear it? All right, let me start it again. This is why I got to change the internet. It is a mess. All right. Let's see if this will get it here. Let's start it again. Here we go.
A young woman was removed
Let me know if
from
you can
a
hear
Planet
it.
Fitness location after reporting what she described as inappropriate behavior inside the women's restroom. According to the woman, she is a paying member who entered the restroom and noticed unusual shadows and movements coming from inside a closed stall. She believed the person inside was engaging in inappropriate behavior and felt uncomfortable. To protect herself, she recorded a short video as evidence and immediately notified gym staff. When staff arrived, the individual exited the stall and appeared to be a biological male. The person stated they were transgender and accused the woman of being disrespectful toward their gender identity. The woman says she expected staff to focus on the behavior she reported, but instead, employees accepted the individual's explanation. Rather than conducting a further review, staff asked the young woman to leave the gym. She says she was shocked that she was removed, despite being the one who reported the situation. The individual she reported was allowed to remain on the premises.
I bet.
The woman is now considering legal action against the gym, saying her safety concerns were dismissed. Many people saying they may cancel their memberships if similar situations continue to be handled this way.
I don't need another situation. The fact that that woman had an actual video of that man doing what he was actually doing, okay? I'm not playing. This one is not even dressed up like a woman, okay? At least the other ones, the ma'ams, they will attempt to look like, I guess, a woman. This is a whole man, okay? And it's just absolutely nasty. And so we are allowing men to tell women what they are, and then we are allowing them to, go off in the bathroom where we as women are supposed to feel safe. You can't make this stuff up. You already know who are the culprits, all right? You already know this is liberals, all right? Because why in the world would you put out an actual woman? You don't have to do nothing for me. I just want my money back, and I'm going to sue you. And on top of that, I'm going to find out who he is, and I'm going to sue him. Because it's absolutely nasty. It's lewd. Like, it's nasty. You shouldn't be in the bathroom anyway. And this is why I stand firm with Nicki Minaj. All right. So that is that story there. I thought you guys should know this because women, you need to protect yourselves. I'm glad this young lady did what she did. She recorded it. So you can see there is no woman that has an extension in the front. Okay. Protect yourselves, ladies. All right. That was a weird story. When I saw that, I was just like, no, I have to show that one. All right, you guys. So the second short story I want to get into is a little bit of, I guess, popular culture mixed in with church culture, because I don't know why Jamal Bryant, okay, they call him Pastor Jamal Bryant. We just gonna call him Jamal Bryant. I don't know why Jamal Bryant and his wife, Carrie Bryant, continue to talk about this dress. It's the dress that won't die. All right. I'm so sick of hearing about this dress. But the reason why I wanted to bring this to you guys is because this dress right here, she is still defending, and it's what she says about it and about you talking about her dress on Tamron Hall's show. Okay. I'm not a fan of these daytime shows, but Tamron is a nice person. They need somebody like me on to tell them the truth. Here we go.
Did you have even a sliver of doubt before you walked out to go to the event about the dress and that it might create a stir?
People have said, oh, she knew it would get this reaction. My ego is not that big.
Wow.
I don't dress for people. I dress for myself and for my husband. I am a wife. Yeah. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. I have a
Attention
doctorate, I'm a
seeker.
professor. There are plenty of things that I do. And the challenge is we often want to see a woman be one-dimensional. I am multi-dimensional. I carry multiple titles. Now, what you choose to call me on whatever day is fine for whatever that might be. But I think that there's this idea that a woman can only be one thing. And once I happen to marry a pastor, I happen to fall in love with a man who is a pastor, right? And so with that came the title of First Lady, but there is no book for that. There is no manual for what that looks like. And I have decided that the title does not define me. I define what the title is.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She doesn't define anything. Okay. We will look at your dress and we will define what that dress looked like. Okay. The dress was a flesh dress. Let me see if I can back it up a little bit if they show it here. So that dress, okay, was very flesh tone. There it is. Okay. This dress is flesh tone. If you did not know it was a flesh like slip, because some people don't know, you would think it's just a sheer dress covering certain areas. Now, I don't particularly have a problem with the dress, but for who she's supposed to be, I have a problem with the dress. Okay. And all of this, I define who I am. No, you do not. No, you do not. You decided to marry a pastor. And so you are bound by First Lady rules. Oh, well, just because, I didn't know. Okay. That would be like a first lady that is married to the president. Well, he decided to be the president. I didn't. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You should have divorced him if you did not want to be the first lady of the United States. And the same goes for Carrie Bryant or Kari, however you pronounce it. All right. She's the first lady of a church. Why would you? For the life of me, I don't know why a pastor would want a lady with a BBL. Okay. Because obviously, if you get a BBL, you're going to want to show it at some point. She doesn't want to be covered up. She wants to show that she paid for this BBL. And by golly, she showed it in that dress. It is what it is. So you guys, let me know what you think about that story as well down in the comments. All right. Now, speaking of BBLs, this story right here, this last one, okay? She may have a BBL that's not required for church, but there is a ongoing BBL that not required for life. And what do I mean by that? I'm calling this the BBL of death. Women are getting fat injections from dead women.
Many of us in New York City are very excited about this, particularly because our patients are sometimes very thin or maybe have already had liposuction. Alopecia is cadaveric fat, so it's fat that has been donated from a person who passed away. Then it has been cleaned of any genetic material and then placed into a syringe. So it's sort of off-the-shelf fat. You can use it in any part of the body. It is going to be approved for the face, but right now it's just for the body. When it's injected into the body's own fat cells sort of hug the cadaveric fat cells. About 75 to 100% of the cadaveric fat cells survive. Many of us in New York City are very excited about this.
Ma'am, the next time you do this video, I'm going to need you to put that closer to your mouth because you do know that New York City's traffic is just horrendous. Okay, it goes over everything. However, you guys are going to be getting this BBL of death. Okay, not only will they be taking your organs at death, they will be taking your body fat. Oh my gosh. How many of you going to be on the waiting list for fat from the dead lady? Oh my God. What? This is what is innovative. Okay. This is science. You know, the liberals, it's science. It's science. Okay. This is what's going on right now. So, if you don't want to gain the weight to use your own fat, you can go and use the dead lady's fat that I'm sure is perfectly safe and fine. And when you wake up with those dreams and nightmares of somebody else, chat, who's getting this? Who wants a butt that bad? Hips, thighs, whatever, wherever they put these things. Who wants a butt that bad? It's absolutely ridiculous. But this is what's going on in the world. This is what's going on in popular culture and plastic surgery. Dead people are now on the chopping block. This is ridiculous. You guys, let me know what you think about all of these quick shot stories. Okay, you probably need a shot after these. All right, you got the guy at the beginning, you know, doing what he's doing in the bathroom in Planet Fitness, saying that he's a woman or he's a ma'am. And then you have, you know, Miss BBL herself, ahead of the church congregation. Okay, sad. And then you have the dead BBL. All right. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about all of these stories. Just absolutely wild. It's wild today. Yeah. It's absolutely wild. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and get into these main topics because we have a lot to discuss. All right, so I want to go ahead and get into let's go ahead and get into Fawn. Okay, so if you guys don't know, Fawn Weaver is the CEO of Uncle Nearest. All right, now Uncle Nearest is a premium whiskey. All right, I have one bottle of it. Right, I've never opened it, but I have it. Right, and so it's Black owned, and you would think that with all of the hype around this premium whiskey, all right, and the history behind it, right? Because if you don't know the history behind it, there's a rich history behind it, and you know, a lot of Black people are very much supportive of this brand because the person, Uncle Nearest, was a slave and came up with the whiskey that everybody loves. If you guys don't know that whiskey, I'm sure you will recognize it when I play some of these clips. However, I want to get into this because it goes to show, all right, that when you are a quote unquote minority, I hate using that word, but when you are a quote unquote minority, people will hyper focus, as this lady wants to say. People will hyper focus on your brand, on what you are selling, and everything in between. However, if they're so hyper focused on your brand, then why aren't you doing a great job? And what's happening here is she's tarnishing her brand, not only with her image and what she's saying and doing, but just bad business overall to a Black owned premium brand. You can't make none of this stuff up. When I tell you all of this is just wild, all of this is wild. So I want to go ahead and get into that, and then we are going to come back and discuss it. All right, here we go. So this first video is of a meet and greet that Miss Fawn Weaver, the CEO of Uncle Nearest, the premium brand, had, where she was signing bottles. And when I tell you this went left in the weirdest kind of way, it went left. I want you to see what happened. Here we go.
We're just in the same class as 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Washington Mayor.
So I'm supposed to remember you? Okay, can I tell y'all that this man just said, do you remember me?
From 6th or 7th grade.
Make it make sense to me. He said we were in the same class in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Me, you not even serious?
Okay.
That part.
He's being serious.
Yes,
though.
he
Are you
is.
being serious? I do not. I'm sorry. No, I don't remember the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th grade.
We were in the same class.
Okay.
Me, you and
Well,
I.
it's nice to meet you.
Yo.
Yo. Hello. Okay. All right. Hello,
Do you
how are
remember
you?
me? We were just in the same class in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Okay. So at this signing, there was a man that walked up on Miss Weaver here, and he said, "Hey, we were in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade together." Now, I'm going to cut her a little slack. That is, at her age, that's a long time ago, right? But, however, even if she didn't remember, she could have been kind about it, all right? Apparently, this gentleman was happy to see her. Maybe, in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they were butt buddies. I don't know. However, she absolutely played him to the left, okay? Absolutely. I just want you to see this one more time.
So I'm supposed to remember you. Okay, can I tell y'all that this man just said, "Do you remember me?"
From 6th or 7th grade.
Make it make sense to me. He said we were in the same class in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Okay.
He's being serious.
Yes,
though.
he
Are
is.
you being
serious.
I do not. I'm sorry. No, I don't remember the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th grade.
We were in the same class.
Okay.
You and
Well,
I.
it's nice to meet you.
Yo,
Hello. Okay.
All right. So after she did that and made a big spectacle of it, it went viral. Okay. It went viral to the point where people were dragging her, of course, and she had to come on and, give a bit of apology. All right. So this was her apology after
all-time record for the largest bottle signing in Georgia history. That should have been the story. Instead, the headline became 60 seconds at the start of the night.
Hello. How are you?
We were just in the same class in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
So I'm supposed to remember you. Okay, can I tell y'all that this man just said, "Do you remember me?"
From 6th or 7th grade.
Make it make sense to me. He said we were in the same class in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I don't remember the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th grade.
Before I say anything else, I want to be clear. That moment is mine. I own it. I apologized immediately, and there are parts of it I would handle differently today. As I stepped out of the car, I was stopped several times for photos. After 4 or 5, I let people know I got to get inside. There are hundreds waiting for me. When I turned, a man I didn't know was standing directly in my path, inches from my face, no smile, no greeting, just a blank stare. He asked if I knew him from school more than 35 years ago. He mentioned a middle school and 2 other people. I went to 3 different schools between the 6th and the 9th grade and graduated from a different one entirely. So I was startled. Security was close, but I've always asked them to stand back unless I believe I'm in danger. I like to speak to everyone, hug everyone, make people feel seen. So instead of calling security, I tried to move us out of that moment I couldn't fully read, and I did that with a joke. In hindsight, I would have handled that moment completely differently. The joke wasn't meant to embarrass him. It was meant to diffuse uncertainty. I apologized publicly and immediately and asked for his contact information so I could apologize directly. Friends who were with him said he wasn't embarrassed and actually laughed afterward. There were numerous accounts calling for me to be canceled or boycotted. The majority had no posts or only a handful, none of them personal. Most were private. Almost all were following more people than followed them. They didn't look organic to me. It looked coordinated. Over the last 24 hours, I've had people reaching out with encouragement and support. Not because I didn't feel the weight of the moment, but because I understand something that's easy to miss online. What I'm about to explain doesn't erase my mistake.
Ma'am, at the end of the day, you're going through all this rigmarole only because you are getting backlash about it. Now, again, the gentleman did just, walk up and things like that. However, there were plenty of people that did walk up, asking for a hug, asking for pictures. And so it wasn't uncommon that this gentleman would just walk up. Okay. But the gentleman didn't make a big stink about it. Everybody else online did. Okay. And so you absolutely know, because she's she's like Kamala. Okay. She's a Black woman. She's like Kamala. You can catch it. And because she is, everybody ends up making a big stink about it. And the feminists online, said that, the gentleman was creepy. So, it doesn't matter what she did and how she treated him. So I want to get into that. All right. Here we go.
He's being serious though. Are you being serious? I do not.
I'm sorry, but you do not approach somebody that is in front of a whole group that a person is arriving to a location knowing that a group of people are going to be there, and you approach this person asking someone, do you remember me? That those words have the potential to be a threat. And looking at that man's body language, looking at his eye contact, he was staring at her intently. If you run into somebody that you recognize, you do not come up to that person and say, do you remember me? You say, hey, my name is so-and-so. We went to so-and-so middle school with each other, and we had so-and-so as the teacher. I don't know if you remember me. However, I just want to let you know that I support you and that I am behind you, and I just wanted to come to congratulate you. The reason why so many people feel uncomfortable with the way that she responded is because we live in a society that has to coddle the fragile emotions of these fucking so-called men. Women have to constantly perform and put themselves in a predicament where they have to protect the ego of a man. We can't tell y'all about y'all bedroom performance. We can't tell y'all about y'all finances. We can't tell y'all when y'all make us feel creepy. We can't tell y'all when y'all make people feel uncomfortable. We can't tell y'all when y'all are a danger to other people. We constantly have to bend a knee to our own feelings and our own level of comfortability so that you can feel safe, when naturally you're our fucking predator. And she clocked the fact that this man is a predator. This man was not coming to that event to be able to congratulate her. No one approaches you and the first thing that they say is, do you remember me?
The reason why, and we have another part of this, okay? But the reason why I wanted to start with her controversy on this front is because in popular culture, all right, we always talk about how men and women are interacting with each other. All right. We always talk about the gender wars. We always talk about feminists, patriarchy, misandry, misogyny, all of these things. And I knew exactly where this was going to go. I knew where it was going to go. So when I saw it, I already knew what was going to be online. Okay. I knew it was going to be, a strong Black woman can't, just go to here and do this and do that without, having to do I knew exactly where it was going to go. And it went right down that rabbit hole. Okay. It went right down that rabbit hole. So it turned the event that was supposed to be, about, again, Uncle Nearest, the premium whiskey, all right, who was apparently the slave who came up with the Jack Daniels brand, okay? And so it turned it from that to this. This is all they're talking about. And remember, this is a premium whiskey. This is a big brand. This is a minority-owned company that's this big. That's why I wanted to start there. So that got overshadowed with all this drama. Now, I want to get into the real drama. The real drama is this Uncle Nearest brand that Miss Weaver has been, the CEO of, is in jeopardy, okay? Miss Weaver is in debt. This company has been losing revenue. All right. They have been touting this woman as this, that, and the third, and this company is going down the toilet. Okay. I want to get into her at InvestFest. I think this is with Earn and Leisure. And they ask her straight up about all of that because Forbes even covered it because they couldn't believe it. Here we go.
When you were speaking, you said 20 hurdles. You just talked about the struggle. You talked about the challenge. And anybody who's followed you on social media, we know you've been very vocal about the $108 million lawsuit that's been filed against Uncle Nearest from Farm Credit Mid-America last month for allegedly unpaid loans and lines of credit. Your company is also under a receivership. That's something Pinky Cole talked about yesterday at VIP night. I know you're under a gag order, but can you talk about how this has affected your company and what this means for the future of Uncle Nearest.
How it's affected my company is we are having the best sales we have ever had in the history of my company. So let me be super, super clear about something. Hold on. Because you asked me a question. Y'all know I'm the people CEO. I'm going to give it to you straight up, no chaser. Here's the thing. Gag order, yes. So I won't talk about anything there. All I'll say is keep following the case, not the headlines, and you will find a different story beneath the headlines. But the reason why our company is in the middle of having its biggest jump, I told my team this. This is our Taylor moment. 2009, Taylor Swift was a country artist singing a song called I'm in Love with Tim McGraw. She was cute, like every other young country artist. Then Kanye took her mic, publicly embarrassed her, and that catapulted her to a level of success that no one can touch, no one can track. So if you want to ask me what is going on right now that I can say off the gag order, this is our Taylor moment.
Fawn, when you were speaking,
she took this opportunity to say that she's having her Taylor Swift moment. Okay. That all of the, drama with the debt, all of that. This is her Taylor Swift moment. And I absolutely don't understand what she's talking about. Okay. And that's because the problem is not the brand. The problem is her. Okay. There have been multiple allegations from the CFO and others saying that she's running that company in the ground. And I absolutely don't get it. I don't get it because this is a very profitable company. It has been. And as you can see, she was just down in Atlanta doing all of these, signing the bottles, like meet and greets, because it's flying off the shelves. But it's tanking. And I saw somebody say, well, it's tanking, so Jack Daniels goodbye. Jack Daniels is not the one that's tanking it. Bad financial moves is what's tanking it. Now, Jack Daniels is probably going to pick it up. However, this is what's happening. Okay. So I wanted to do a little more digging, and I looked into what Forbes had to say about it. And Forbes said, that this is a profitable company, but it took a hit in 2024 and it fell more than 50%. All right. From 17 million to 18 million. To 8 million. Like, how does that happen? All right. And then it says in 2024 annual report ended up with an update. The interim CFO started out 2 weeks prior to the report, says that Uncle Nearest has taken steps towards several bank concerns. And then they have the lawsuit, and they have, all of these consultant firms. They just have a lot of things going on for such a profitable company. You guys, if you have time, actually go and look this up. I couldn't believe that just that controversy led me down the rabbit hole. Okay. There's even videos up there where she's talking about politics, talking about how tariffs have, hurt her business. Just all types of things. Talking about Donald Trump is crazy. Just all types of things. So she's all over the place. She's on TikTok. She's here, there, everywhere. And it's not looking good for this brand. All because she wants to, be in the spotlight. But she has no financial awareness. They changed CFOs. All of this because she doesn't know how to run a company. And when anybody else steps in, She gets rid of them. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. But I thought it was a good I thought it was a good tale to say that when you get a chance and especially as a minority owner to be in such a business of premium whiskey, you would want to put pieces together of people that know more than you, that can take your, your profitable margins to better heights. Okay? You're not without, your title. You're not without money, because that's apparently what this is boiling down to. Okay? Bad financial decisions. So I want to make this a cautionary tale. Okay? Worrying about what your social media reputation looks like instead of your actual company. Because there were complaints about that. There's complaints about how she treats the people that work for her. I mean, it's just all types of nonsense instead of worrying about a company that actually has a good, record of premium whiskey and a good story behind it. So I thought it was just sad that all of that is being overshadowed because of the CEO. You can't make it up. So you guys got, you got to get down in the comments and let me know what you think about that story, because I just thought it was wild, that someone would just let a company like that just go. And now she's getting ready to get this company taken. It's absolutely getting ready to be taken. And it's a shame. It's absolutely a shame. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about that. Let me go ahead and get into these super chats really quick before we get into this main long topic, because we got a lot to cover about Minnesota. All right. We have Michael Armstrong with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then we have Michael again with the $2 super chat. Mika, Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. Mika is Gunnery Sergeant. Who is that? Hold on. Mika is Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. I got to look that up. But thank you. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look that up. Y'all know who that is? Call Hove. You know what? Thank you guys so much for the super chats. All right, let's go ahead and get into these main topics. This is just wild, you guys. Absolutely wild. Reese from Philly. What's up, Reese? With the $2 super chat. Sup, homie? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into this. All right. Minneapolis, Minnesota, Somalis. Everything has been happening in that state. All right. Everything has been going on with fraud, this, fraud, that, fraud, this, fraud, that. And then, of course, what happened today with the shooting. All right. So I want to start with the shooting, and then we're going to go down the rabbit hole because so much has happened between today and yesterday in Minnesota. That state, I don't know what's going on there. Okay. Maybe you should have never had Elmer Fudge in charge, AKA Tim Walls, Sugar Walls. But we're going to get down to it. So let's go ahead and get into this breaking news story that happened just earlier. Here we go.
What you're about to see is disturbing. There is crude language in this. This is graphic, and we do not know the context around this. We don't know what happened before this video.
No! Shame! Oh my God! What the You just what the did you do?
Protesters are gathering at the scene at this hour. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said this about the incident a short time ago.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over.
The mayor of Minneapolis is also speaking out, calling that official line from federal authorities a lie.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is.
Let's go out to the scene now. CNN's Whitney Wild has been tracking this story. Whitney, what more are officials there saying?
Well, as you heard, it was a profanity-laced press conference from Mayor Jacob Frey. Very angry. He believes that the narrative coming out from the Department of Homeland Security is simply untrue. The Department of Homeland Security said in a statement earlier that this was their narrative that they laid out, that this person had, basically was trying to block these ICE vehicles as they were conducting a targeted operation. They say that the vehicle drove toward an agent who feared for his life and feared for the life of other officers and members of the public and discharged a firearm. They are saying that this shooting was, based on their statement, it appears they believe that this shooting was completely justified. Obviously, Mayor Jacob Frey has a completely different perspective on that. You've seen this video. We are still getting more video from people who are on the ground here. I spoke with one man who saw it play out, and that man told me that he did not see anything that he believed suggested that any of those ICE agents were ever in grave danger. All
right, you guys. So that was CNN's breaking news coverage of it. Okay. China News Network actually showed, a video, which I'm absolutely surprised about, but maybe it's because they think it fits their narrative. I don't know. However, that was the breaking news coverage. Now let's move over to what Tim Walz, Elmer Fudge had to say. Here we go, because I want you to see what he had to say in this outfit.
There, you asked about a shooting that we just had in
because I think Tim Walz is just absolutely ridiculous. Here we go.
I don't know what to tell you, and I don't quite know how to respond to the question other than my primary responsibility as governor is the protection of the people of Minnesota. And you can be assured, whether it's the State Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesotans from whatever it is. If it's an act of nature, if it's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time, and I want to be very careful. I don't know what to tell you, and I don't quite know how to respond to the question other than my primary responsibility as governor is the protection of the people of Minnesota. And you can be assured, whether it's the State Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesotans from whatever it is. If it's an act of nature, if it's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time, and I want to be very careful.
Who elected this man? Probably the same people that said Joe Biden was fit for office, okay, and watch him trip up the steps. Absolutely not. No, nobody knows what he is talking about, okay? Nobody absolutely knows what Tim Walz is talking about. Tim Walz looks like he hasn't slept in weeks, all right? The Somali thing is running him raggedy, okay? At this point, I don't even believe he got the call. I just think he saw the writings on the wall. He said, I'm out, okay? I'm out because I'm already gray. Y'all not going to send me to the grave, all right? He doesn't want to look like, Joe Biden and Bill Clinton. So this is what Tim Walz had to say about the shooting. They woke him up. He put on his, I want to say starter jacket, but I don't know what that is. He put on that jacket and came and spoke to the public. All right. And said absolutely nothing. Nothing of substance. He didn't say anything. I don't see where he said anything. However, I want to get into this one right here. Okay. I want to get into this man. This man right here irks my spirit. And the reason is because this man right here is just fake and phony. This is the same mayor that was talking trans first when that school shooting happened. This is the same mayor that's always outside with the Somali flag. That's him. That's him. Frey. That's him. That's that mayor. And now this is the same mayor who wants to tell you F ICE. That's literally what he said. Here we go.
And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite.
Oh.
People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done. And I have a message for ICE.
And we have a message for you, okay? Here is the thing. You say the shooting is on ICE, Homeland Security, Trump, whoever, right? Meanwhile, you and the rest of your cronies, including Elmer Fudge, Tim Walz, knew that all of this fraud was going on, okay? And let's not even just do the Somalis. Let's do everybody else that's in Minnesota. You guys in these sanctuary cities, states, wherever there are Democrats and liberals, you guys don't want to let ICE come to the jails. You don't want to work with ICE at all. You don't even want the police to work with ICE. I've covered, Minnesota and I think St. Paul, Minneapolis. Yeah, I've covered them and their police departments. We can't work with ICE. So with that being said, you're sitting there like, what, how do you think this is going to go? They're going to go into the neighborhoods. They're absolutely going to go into the neighborhoods because you guys don't want to work with them. You could get the criminals first, but since I have to go into the neighborhoods and I'm knocking on doors or busting down doors or stopping cars, I'm going to get the criminal and I'm going to get Nana, Abuela, and everybody, Titi, all of them. I'm going to get all of them. Okay? Tia, everybody is going. Okay? Everybody's going. And that's because the Democrats and liberals don't want to work with ICE. They don't want to follow the actual law. You make laws that go against federal laws. And right now they're complaining that people aren't following the law. You can't make it up. It's absolutely stupid. Just like Frey. Somebody in the chat had a good one. French fry. I mean, because this is he fried. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you guys, I want to get into the intricate part of this, right? Because we just watched the video on CNN, right? But I want to watch that video in totality with one angle and then slow down because I want to have an honest discussion about this shooting. All right. So I'm going to pull this up. All right. So this is one angle of the video and it might be the best one, but let's go ahead and rewatch this. Okay. She's backing up. As you can see, the person who's recording is screaming no, because we already know why would you pull off when the police are All right. So, first of all, she's blocking the road. And they were doing this to not allow ICE to get down the street and all of this other stuff. They were letting some cars go, some cars not go, all of this stupid stuff. Okay. And if you're wondering what this or who this person is, it's a white liberal woman. Okay. So that is the police car that had ICE and others in it. All right. Now, I want to go back because I want to show this slowed down. So let's look at this footage slowed down. Okay. Here we go. So when I look from this angle, this car and him are head on. Okay. She backs up first. That's why he unholsters. Because look at it. She's going directly towards him. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Exactly. And he shot right through that window shield as he jumps back. So you can have I guess you can have the debate about whether he was in imminent danger when the car is in front of him. But why, when there is a police officer hanging on your door and your window, are you speeding off? What in the world would make you do that? And one in front of you, both having guns. What would make you do that? You guys let me know in the chat. What would make you do that? It's absolutely stupid. I like, why are you trying to run away from the police? It doesn't make any sense. More than likely, they would have told you, get out the car, maybe detained you, maybe. But more than likely, they just would have moved your car and took your keys from you or something, because you were illegally blocking the road, trying to protest or whatever you were doing. It's just absolutely stupid. It's so dumb. But that is, again, like I said, the close-up, slowed down version. Because, of course, when you see things, in fast motion, you might miss some of it. So I wanted to show that. As she backs up, that gentleman steps up because the officer's hand is in the car. It's literally on the door and literally on the opposite side of the door. Even if he wasn't there, ma'am, you're just going to pull off with the officer on your car? Okay. All right. And you thought what was going to happen? Just stupid. It's absolutely dumb. So you guys let me know down in the chat and down in the comment section on the, replay. Let me know your thoughts. Because I think it's absolutely dumb. I think it's so dumb. None of this stuff is worth your life. Regardless of what you think about with any politics, none of this stuff is worth your life. But you have so many people that are so emotionally driven by things that don't even affect them. And if it does affect them or effect them, you would think they would go about it on the other side, because all of the Somali fraud is liberals. It's their money that they're using. They are using Democrats. It's your money. You voted for this. It's your money. And it's been happening for years. I've dug and dug and dug. I'm telling you this stuff. I found stuff from 2013. So it's absolutely ridiculous. But you go out there and you do all this stuff for a group of people that don't even like you. Okay? Somalis don't even like black people, let alone white liberals. Okay? It's a totally different thought process when you come from a third world country. Okay? Especially one that is totally different in culture, religion, and values. All right? And so none of these people migrated here, the scammer ones. None of these people migrated here to say, I want to be a part of the fabric of America. I'm sure there are, some sprinkled in there, but none of them did, because since 2013, they have been, and that's what I could find on record, since 2013, they have been sending money back to Somalia and to terrorist groups. So nothing about that says they want to be an American. Nothing. It's a totally different world. But you got these people going to bat for them. So this is what's happening. Okay. The white liberals are just falling to pieces. And when I say falling to pieces, they're falling to pieces. All right. So if you look here, okay, you see these are all Reddit posts. These are all Reddit posts. Okay. And if you look at these posts, they are saying, I can and will use lethal force for self-defense against ICE pigs. They're talking about death to ICE. They're talking about all of this stuff now, right? Because they deem this as an act or something malicious towards U.S. citizens, okay? So now ICE is attacking U.S. citizens. Just absolutely stupid. But this is what they're sharing, okay? This is the stuff that they're sharing. So you got to think, where are these people's minds at? They don't care about the fraud because it's Donald Trump's fault. No. The Somali fraud only happened since Donald Trump got in. I mean, God's sake, y'all don't know that. And so everything revolves around Trump. It wouldn't happen. You wouldn't know if Nick Shirley didn't come out here and he's a Trump supporter. So it goes back to Trump. It's just absolutely stupid. But that's what the liberals are sharing online on Reddit posts. Okay. These are just some of them. And that's all because of that shooting. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so the lady in the car, she absolutely did pass away. Okay. She died from her injuries. And so you will now see this be a whole theme on all the liberal outlets, China News Network. You'll see it on MS13 now. You will see it on, ABCDEFG Network, CBS, all of that. You will see it because it's going to be a talking point. And you'll probably see it on Abby Phillips, who will just argue Scott down about absolutely nothing. So prepare to have to listen to that. They're not going to let it go. Okay. And they'll probably forget about Venezuela. They're on to something new. You guys, let's continue going down this rabbit hole. All right. Let's continue it because we have a lot more to cover on it. But I want to recognize the super chats really quick. Thank you guys for supporting the platform. I really do. Thank you guys. Let me pull this up. Echo Jedi, thank you so much with the $5 super chat. Minnesota is getting a bad reputation. It absolutely is. Scratch a lie, find a thief. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Michael Armstrong, thank you so much with the $2 super chat. Mika as MSG Waters and Jasmine Crockett as CJ. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the super chat. J Pitt City with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really do. I don't want to party shame. Blame the Democrats. Okay. They and their policies make it comfortable for people to play, with law enforcement. Absolutely. Especially on a federal level. Absolutely. Especially with ICE. They should be sued. It was encouraged. Yeah, well, I'm going to party shame. I know you're not, but I am. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to party shame. I've never seen anybody on the opposite side say that, conservatives should go at Democrats. And it's that side. The stuff that they say, they incite a lot of things, and they like to talk about January 6th. Okay? That party, maybe not the people all the time that follow that party, but definitely the people in the party. Okay? Your Ratchet Crockett's, your Maxine Waters, your what's that? What's the crazy lady name? AOC. Okay? Jenny from the Block always has something to say. Mondami, all of these people. Okay, Chuck Schumer, he just says whatever, which way the wind blows. He says what, he thinks will help. But these people are reckless. Mark Kelly, all of these people are reckless. The Seditious Six, all of them, reckless. So yeah, I party shame. But thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right, so let's continue to go down this rabbit hole, because now I want to get into the Attorney General. All right, so if you don't know, the Somalis, they pay everybody. Okay, now somebody asked in the comments on my last live about the Somalis. Well, where's the Attorney General? I said, yeah, I'm on it. And boy, oh boy, did I turn up a lot of stuff about this Attorney General of Minnesota. Here he is last night on CNN because, of course, he is also a Democrat. Party shame. And, of course, he is also in on the Somali fraud, like all the rest of them. Watch.
And we're doing more every single day. This is a political matter. This is not a serious thing. And I tell you, not that fraud is not a problem. Of course it is a problem. And, of course, we have to prosecute it. And, of course, we have been prosecuting it. But
have you done enough, General, to do so? I mean, one of the claims is that there has been hundreds of millions of dollars, but now there are some estimates that there could be $9 billion or more. And Noam was just suggesting they took hundreds of people off the street who were involved in fraud. Are you confident your office has done enough?
No.
Of course, we've done enough, and we're doing more every single day. This is a political matter. This is not a serious thing. And I tell you, not that fraud is not a problem. Of course.
He hasn't done anything. Okay? Not nada, nothing. Nada, nigh. Nope. He hasn't done anything because he's complicit. All right? He's absolutely complicit in about everything that's involving the Somalis. How do I know? Asked, how do I know? Yeah, so this is a recording, okay, of said AG in the Somalis. Here we go.
Now they're looking at the state's Attorney General, Keith Ellison. Why? Because the state's top cop here in Minnesota was caught in an audio recording behind closed doors, meeting with a group of soon-to-be convicted Somali fraudsters. They were asking the Attorney General for help to get more funding. Listen to this.
The only way we can protect what we have is by inserting ourselves into the political arena, putting our votes where it needs to be, but most importantly, putting our dollars in the right place and supporting candidates that will fight to protect our interests.
That's right.
You can only protect our interests when we have your back, and you don't have to worry about who's behind you.
Well,
And also this group was talking about, as you heard there, supporting his campaign. So Keith Ellison is pushing back on this. He said that he takes fraud seriously. He shared in an op-ed writing this: I took a meeting in good faith with people I didn't know, and some turned out to have done some bad things. I did nothing for them, and I took nothing from them. But some of those now convicted Somali fraudsters did donate money to Ellison's campaign, according to documents obtained by the Center for the American Experiment.
Yeah. And to go a little further, he said, oh yeah, we gave it back. We gave it back. He said the same thing, you know, Ilhan Omar said, oh yeah, yes, I gave it back. I gave it back. No, they didn't. Absolutely not. Okay. If you ask me, he should be in jail. But you know, Democrats, they're not going to put each other in jail, and Republicans, you know, they just let stuff slide. A lot of them are either rhinos or weak. You know, they just let it slide. Let it slide. Meanwhile, if it was a Republican, they would be under the jail. Democrats will make sure they make a whole example of said Republican. Okay? Don't let that be Ron DeSantis. Oh, they are dragging Ron DeSantis. Don't let that big Marco. Big Marco can't do nothing. They will drag Big Marco. They will drag him. Okay? And that's because they know. They absolutely know what they're doing with those Somalis out there in Minnesota. So now I want to get into this hearing. All right? Because this very subject we're talking about right now with the AG came up in the Somali fraud hearing that was on Capitol Hill yesterday, today, all of that. I want to go ahead and get into what they were saying, the representatives were saying about the AG. Here we go.
Now, was when I talked about not just overlooking it, there was a meeting that took place between the Attorney General and affiliates of Feeding Our Future. Is that right?
That is correct.
And what happened at that meeting? Do we know?
Yeah, we do, because we have it on tape. There was an audio recording made at that meeting that was entered into evidence in the Feeding Our Future trial, and it was later revealed through work from Center of the American Experiment, the full recording. And my observations of what took place in that meeting was that Attorney General Keith Ellison was focused on one thing and one thing only, and that was keeping these folks in business. There were no questions that he asked of these folks about how the kids are doing, the operation, how they're getting fed, who's being helped. Instead, the focus was entirely on ensuring that the money continues to flow. And I'll add that he went so far as to say that he was going to fight these people in reference to the state agencies. The state agencies are his client.
Now, was when I talked about not just overlooking it, there was a meeting that took place between the Attorney General and affiliates of Feeding Our Future. Is that right?
That is correct.
And that is all that you just saw. When you heard that recording, that's what they're referencing. Okay. When you saw him on, meaning the AG on CNN, which was just last night, he said, oh, no, there's no fraud. You know, there's, you know, we got everything. We're looking into all of this. We got it. We're good. Yeah. I don't know what Trump and them are talking about. Absolutely not. Not us. No, not Democrats. We are for the people. I don't understand. Knowing less. Yeah, that's what that Attorney General said. Meanwhile, up on Capitol Hill, they are telling it. Okay. They are whistleblowing like none other up on Capitol Hill. You cannot make this up. They are whistleblowing. And that's because, I mean, you got to think. Most of these people knew exactly what was going on, what's been going on. And I told you guys that even with Tim Walz bowing out, I think that Tim Walz is the fall guy. Okay. He's just the last on the sword. Unfortunately. But he definitely knew, but it was happening before him. Okay. It was happening before him. And everybody knows that. Everybody. There are congressional meetings and hearings from 2018, from 2013, where people were stating that the Somali daycare stuff was happening. So it's nothing new. It's absolutely nothing new. Now, get your ears together. Because, if the Republicans can speak, unfortunately, we have to let Democrats speak. And of course, it's your favorite, Roger Crockett.
Thank you so much. I just want to make sure I level set because it seems like we want to continue to, especially as we just heard those particular articles entered into the record, we want to continue to just make it seem as if you are Somali, then somehow you are a fraudster. And this administration has decided that it wants a target on their backs. And so when my colleague, Ms. Randall, decided that she wanted to talk about the threats that are being made towards various Somali people, the reason she brought it up is because this particular side of the aisle has a tendency of if one person does something bad, especially if they are an immigrant, then we are going to cast aside that entire community. So I wanted to level set, and I appreciate your honesty because that's something that we very rarely get from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. In fact, if we want to talk about fraud, I got a lot of fraud that we're going to talk about because we're going to get into this, but I am very curious to hear, let me ask you, Mr. Ballou, are you aware of allegations that $50,000 in taxpayer dollars have been given to someone that is currently sitting in this administration by the name of Tom Homan? Are you aware? Okay, that's a yes.
I am.
Okay. And last I checked, and correct me if I'm wrong if you have different information, but he was given that $50,000 in exchange for being able to provide contracts and kickbacks to people as soon as Trump was going to get into office. The DOJ was actually investigating this, but as soon as Trump got into office, last I checked, he actually said, go ahead and throw away that case.
So it was a Department of Justice investigation, and he accepted the money from an undercover FBI agent in cash.
Are you aware as to whether or not we ever got that $50,000 back?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Are you aware as to whether or not this committee has decided to investigate that?
I'm not.
Are you aware as to whether or not any committee in Congress has decided to investigate the fact that we know that he took $50,000 from an undercover officer, and yet we still don't have that money, nor does he have any charges?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Ma'am, what does that have to do with the Somalis? This is a hearing about Somali fraud. Somalis, okay? Last time I checked, Tom Homan was white, okay? You are such a ranking member. Bring a hearing up on it. I don't know. I don't care. Bring a hearing up on it, okay? Tom Homan is not just a Republican. He has worked for Democrats and Republicans. You know why he know how he knows to do this job so well with immigration? He got it from the deporter in chief. Yes, Barry Obama. Yes, that one. Okay. That's where he learned it. Okay. You know why he knows how to put kids in cages? He got it from Barry Obama. Okay. That's where he got it from. So the notion that all of a sudden Tom Homan is racist, or as Omar say, the racist, all right, that these people are just the white supremacists. The notion that he's a white supremacist today and not yesterday when Obama was asking him to do the same thing is absolutely ridiculous. And if we're going to dig into everybody, we need to dig into her finances, because how do you only make six figures in Congress, but in 2 years, you're worth $12 million. And you can't get a side job. You can't get another job. You got two places you got to have, which is in your district and in Washington. In 2 years, you made $12 million. We're going to investigate? Oh, okay.
We're living through the most corrupt presidential administration in American history, a $300 million ballroom, a $230 million payout from the Department of Justice because the president got his feelings hurt because he had to be investigated for being a criminal. Hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent at Trump-owned properties around the country, Trump-branded wine being sold at the Coast Guard exchanges, American taxpayer dollars being spent on DHS propaganda ads on Truth Social, awarding federal contracts to corporations in exchange for campaign contributions. Kash Patel flew his girlfriend around the country on a multi-million-dollar jet that taxpayers paid for. Kristi Noem gave companies she's affiliated with hundreds of millions of tax dollars, then went out and spent another $200 million on 2 private jets for her travel. For 12 months, this administration has been taking billions of taxpayer dollars from American people and have been giving it away to their own companies in the form of tax cuts, government contracts, or other government funded subsidies. So Congress has a role in getting rid of fraud. I will admit that in any federally funded government program. However, I think the fraud that the American people are concerned about is that the Republicans are taking away Americans' health care so that ultra billionaires can get more tax cuts. The real fraud is the dehumanization and demonization of the working class Americans and immigrants to distract folks away from corporate socialism that's happening because of the Republicans. So this is truly the definition of throwing away the baby with the bathwater. The Republican philosophy is that if the cost of living for the average American increases, they're on their own. But if the cost of doing business increases for the wealthiest people on earth, well, then it's the government job to bail them out. But I want to get to my last question.
Get to it.
Blue, I got to give you a chance. He's been issuing pardons for numerous people who have defrauded the American people. And Republicans on this committee, yeah, just as quiet as the room just got, right? So, Mr. Ballou, talk to me about how the Trump administration has welcomed fraud across government by purging DOJ attorneys and shuttering ethics office across the federal government.
Well, you know,
Mr. Ballou is phenomenal if he can remember everything. Okay, I had to write it down. Okay, Mr. Ballou is absolutely phenomenal if he can remember all of that. Okay, all of that, and she missed her calling. Okay, you should have been a tax attorney or something if you want to pull up all that. The only problem is that you miss all that stuff, you know, that people from Qatar gave you. You missed all the things that the Soros family gave you. You know, you missed, you know, how you were put in the seat that you are in and how you are already funded, which is the reason why you don't have any policies on your website for your Senate run, because it's not really a Senate run. If you ask me, it's more like I just want funds, because she's not doing any campaigning. She's not doing anything different that she's already been doing. And there's absolutely, it's worse than Kamala's site, okay? Kamala at least tried, you know, a couple of days later, 2 weeks later, to put up something, some bullet points. Roger Crockett's website says, hey girl, I'm running. Support. I lied to you not. That's what it says. I lied to you not. That's what it says. So you can't tell me that there isn't a level of fraud there, because I know there is. And it's not just the Rhino Republicans. It's the Democrats. It's Congress. Okay. Congress in general has a lot of fraud in it, which is the reason why they don't want to root out fraud like this. Okay. The Somalis, the Congress has already, they've already known what was going on. It's just now they can't ignore it because the people know. And if the people are loud enough, as I always say, you could get things done. Come on, Mr. Ballou.
One of the things that's been a common theme in this discussion so far is potential government employee involvement in some of these schemes. That hasn't been proven yet, but it does seem to be alleged. The concern that I have is the office that would prosecute that in the Department of Justice, the Public Integrity Section, has been largely defunded and decimated.
Thank you so much. And my time has expired, but I do have some UCs, Mr. Chairman.
You want to do them now?
I do.
Okay.
The first one.
Thank God. All right. So That was Ratchet Crockett at the Somali hearing. Did you hear anything about the Somalis? She didn't look into anything, like not one thing about the Somalis. I didn't hear one thing. She could have. I mean, everybody knows about the quality Learning Center. I mean, you could have pulled that up. That would have sufficed. Just one thing, okay? Not one thing. That's because she wasn't there to do so. She wasn't there to do so. Absolutely not. Okay? Absolutely not. Where is the money going? Now, last but not least, I want to get into what the Democrats did the entire time. You just saw about 3 to 4 minutes of nonsense from Ratchet Crockett on this whole Somali fraud that she didn't even speak on. She spoke on the, research that she did on the Trump administration. Nothing about Somalis, right? And this handsome young lady here, okay? This handsome young lady here, she also, Miss Randall, did not come to talk about the Somalis. All right? Why liberal women never come to talk about the illegals or the immigrants? Okay? They spent their entire time talking about Trump. I don't even know why we have these hearings. Honestly and truly, it's a waste of my tax dollars. Because what is to become of it? Who's going to be held accountable? Who's responsible? Absolutely not. Here's what she had to say.
We can trot out all of the data that we want to create the sense that there is a bad guy. There is a bad group of people. There are folks who are not among us. There are folks who are other. And I think we should spend a lot more time looking at ourselves, looking at American citizens, looking at white men who are committing violence at disproportionate rates in our country.
You knew it was coming. She can't go 1 minute without mentioning white men, okay? White women, the liberal ones, okay? The liberal white woman absolutely hates white men, okay? They hate your guts. She look a little like Joe Pesci. But look, they hate your guts. They absolutely hate your guts, okay? They do not like the patriarchy at all, okay? They don't like their grandpa. They don't like pop, okay? None of that. They don't want Papi Chulo. They don't want Nacho Libre. They don't want any of that. Anything that they deem masculine is machismo to them, okay? It is absolutely out of pocket, out of line, and they blame everything on that. Meanwhile, if you say anything about an illegal, an actual criminal, it's racist. But Joe Pesci's daughter here can absolutely just, name white men in a Somali fraud hearing. You cannot make this stuff up.
White men who are committing violence at disproportionate rates in our country, who are committing crimes at disproportionate rates in our country, including the President of the United States, who is sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, as so many of my colleagues have pointed out. I also want to say, I've heard a lot about the Somali donors to political campaigns. We all acknowledge, right, that you cannot donate to a political campaign in the United States unless you are an American citizen, right? I'm just going to acknowledge.
Who does she think she's talking to? Who does she she's not talking to me, okay? Papi Chulo is not talking to me. I can tell you right now, we did too much investigative work dealing with Act Blue and Kamala. We absolutely know that you do not need to be an American citizen to donate. Tell them.
acknowledge that. We can trot out all of the data that we want to create the sense that there is a bad guy. There is a bad group of people. There are folks who are not among us. There are folks who are other. And I think we should spend a lot more time looking at ourselves, looking at American citizens, looking at white men.
You definitely should spend a lot more time looking at yourself. You will find a lot wrong. So look, here is the problem. They don't want to have that conversation. They don't want to have the conversation about, Minnesota fraud. They don't want to have the conversation about that at every level, they fail the people of Minnesota, okay? From Governor Walz, okay? Sugar Walz failed you guys, okay? From the AG, okay? The AG failed because he's taking money. Absolutely. The local governance, okay? Frey, okay? Who wants to use curse words and things now as if he's about any type of street life. Absolutely not. Yeah. They don't want to they don't want to have that discussion because we can see it. Like, you can't get rid of it. We can actually see it. It's fraud, it's fraud, it's fraud, it's fraud. Like, I don't know how many different levels and ways we can say fraud. If this was you, okay, if this was you in those PPP loans, if this was you and scamming, you would be in jail. You would absolutely be in jail. Hell, you pick up a credit card off the ground and go swipe it. See who don't get you. Meanwhile, you're telling me that they didn't know that these scams were going on. They had whistleblowers and all of this stuff. Where are those people? Where are those people? Yeah, okay. So this hearing to me, unfortunately, probably won't amount to much because these people are not trying to have the conversations that they ought to be having because they really, honestly and truly don't care. I don't think they care at all. I mean, when you got people like Ratchet Crockett, who else? I'm just looking at all of these videos from Minnesota, and I'm just like, who? Yeah, these people don't care. These people are just complicit. Like, it's so many of them from this hearing. I'm telling you guys, it's so many of these videos. Like, I lied to you not. Here's
the
Nancy
amount
Mace.
of fraud we're talking about. My first question is this, Mr. Balyu, this afternoon. Should Somalians in Minnesota be required to speak English? They're citizens. Yes or no? Should they be required to speak English if they're American citizens?
I think that question is really inappropriate.
Should they? It's not inappropriate. This is the United States of America. Do you speak English? Should Americans speak English? Citizens speak English? Yes or no?
Point of inquiry, is English the official language of the United States?
Yes. What doesn't anybody get? I speak 2 other languages. 2 other languages, but English is the language of the United States. Like, what? You have to learn English to actually see. I know why they don't know this. I absolutely know why they don't know this. Because most of the people that they support come over here illegally. If you go and get your citizenship, you have to know English. To get your CDL license, you have to know English. It's the Ratchet Crockett touch. You have to know English. It's the official language. Okay?
It's a question.
Mr. Chairman, I'm being interrupted again by another
parliamentary inquiry.
I would like to
Is
reclaim
that
my
a
time,
citizenship
Mr.
requirement?
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to reclaim my time.
she's
That
asking
seems
the
to be a
witness.
popular
She's
theme
asking-
today.
That's not a valid inquiry.
It's a point of inquiry.
Women have the right to speak in this committee. Conservative women have the right to speak here and not be interrupted by my male colleagues. Mr. Chairman, I would like to reclaim my time, but I lost like 10 seconds there.
Okay, we'll give you 10 seconds.
Okay, my next question is, should Somalians who committed fraud be denaturalized and deported, Mr. Bayou?
Again,
Yes
I'm not
or
sure
no?
that's an appropriate question because the majority of Somali
So if you
Minnesotans
commit
are
fraud in
citizens.
this country and you are here from Somalia, you don't believe they should be denaturalized and deported. How
Again,
much fraud would it take for you to want to denaturalize and deport someone who committed fraud in this country? How much?
Again,
A
Ms.
billion,
Mace,
9 billion, 19 billion? What would it take for you?
most Somali Minnesotans are citizens.
Right. And the ones that committed fraud, the question was, if you understand English, should be those who committed fraud, should they be denaturalized and deported? The Somalians who are here, the ones that can't speak English.
Yeah, so under U.S. law.
Okay,
the
my next
basis-
question for
Excuse me,
you
can I please finish the
is,
question?
no, you can't because you're not answering the question. My next question is, this is yes or no. If you marry your brother and you
Oh.
commit immigration fraud, should you be denaturalized and deported? If you
Again,
commit immigration fraud, yes or no?
Again, that question seems really inappropriate. And
my man is not going to answer any question. Now, Mr. Ballou just sat up there and answered all of those questions from Ratchet Crockett. Okay. He answered every last question from Ratchet Crockett. Okay. He answered all those questions, but he cannot answer anything regarding Somalis. But they have all the answers, Sway, to Trump, to Tom Homan, to Kristi Noem, to Pete Hegseth, okay, to Big Mako. All right. Like they have all of those questions. They just can't answer truthfully about what we're here to talk about unless the Somali. It's absolutely insane. You guys, my head hurts from watching these people. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know, what did you think about all of that? From the shooting with ICE in the Somali neighborhoods because they were doing, ICE raids and, out there doing what ICE do. And one of the white liberal women stumping for the Somalis decides to play a stupid game with her car. And she lost her life. Let me know what you think about that. All right. And then let me know what you think about Mayor Frey telling ICE to get the F out of his city because he don't F with them. And everything they say is BS. I mean, everybody just in the Democratic Party, just want to curse. Okay. Trump does something and everybody want to do it. And then let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about Keith Ellison, okay, who is the Attorney General for Minnesota. Let me know what you think about him. Let me know what you think about him being recorded, okay? The Somalis, I think they did that. They wanted to have something on him, okay? They absolutely did that. So let me know what you think about him being recorded, pretty much accepting donations in exchange for votes. And then not last but least, let me know what you think about the Somali fraud hearing on Capitol Hill that's been going on for the last 2 days, and absolutely nothing is becoming of it. People like Mr. Ballou are not going to answer Republicans, and they're not going to be upfront. And we're just going to keep hearing that, white men are the problem, Somalis are not the problem, illegal immigrants are not the problem. Legal temporary status immigrants are not the problem. It's just Trump. Per usual. You guys get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. All right. Absolutely insane. Insane. All right. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you as always. Ugh, that gave me a headache. Honestly and truly. I haven't eaten much yet. The Genius CEO, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. It ain't much, but this is what I got on the new Benz. Tell him my business. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. It's nice too. Mr. Joe, thank you so much. I appreciate you. 199 super chat. Democrats hate every billionaire but George Soros. Oh, and they didn't hate Bill Gates until he bust their little bubble about climate change. Now they hate his guts. And they used to like Elon too when he was a Silicon Valley bro. Then when he moved to Texas, got a little too purple red for them, so he's gone too. Yeah. Thank you though. You're absolutely correct. And JB Pritzker. Okay? Because he owns all the Hyatts, I believe his family does. He's a billionaire and they love PB&J, Pritzker. Shocker. Shadow Dragon TV with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I heard your favorite liberals did a candlelight visual on the Capitol steps for January 6th. Reminded me of Pelosi kneeling with the kente cloth. Absolutely. That's what they did. They got up there and talked about the same daggone thing. Absolutely. That's what they did. They did. They sat up there and said, never forget this day, yada, 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 yada. Meanwhile, they want us to forget, and especially somebody like me, they want me to forget all those riots. Okay? They want us to forget that. And then they talk about that insurrection. But liberals have bombed the Capitol building, like literally bombed the Capitol building. They have been doing stuff to that Capitol building since the 70s. Okay? When liberals didn't like the war, they bombed the building. Then the 80s, they bombed it again. And then the 90s, they ran up in there as well. But my gosh, you don't hear about that. You only hear about January 6th. It's wild. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Speaking of January 6th, I want to get into our last topic here, which will be really quick because I don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene anyway. Marjorie Taylor Greene on the news, on The View, The Golden Girls, whatever. She was on with them talking about absolutely nothing with Cloudy hosting in the gang, okay? Joy No Heart, Whoopi, which is so fitting, okay? If you don't know the backstory about Whoopi's name, it came from passing gas. I lied to you not. Like a Whoopi cushion. That's where it came from. Absolutely disgusting. Anywho, Marjorie Taylor Greene was on The View talking about just what we were just talking about, okay? January 6th. However, Marjorie Taylor Greene actually told the truth. That Trump was not responsible. That's something that she didn't walk away from. So I can give credit where credit is due. Because she has been, liberal moonwalking lately. And who knows what she would have said. But I do give her credit here. She did tell the truth. So let's get into it with Cloudy hosting. Here we go.
Yesterday was the 5th anniversary of January 6th, and Jack Smith, the January 6th special counsel, testified in a 255-page transcript that we have posted on our website that Trump was the most culpable and most responsible person in the conspiracy, and that the attack on the Capitol would not have happened without him. Now, in the past, you defended Trump against those accusations. You blamed Antifa for storming the Capitol. You supported the January 6th rioters. And you said this, quote, there was mass voter fraud on a scale that should terrify every American, regardless of political party.
Absolutely.
That has found not to be true by over 60 cases. So now that you are the new Marjorie Taylor Greene, do you still believe that those things that you said in the past?
Well, first of all, I'm the same Marjorie Taylor Greene. And
First of all, I would have said, ma'am, you are a whole colonizer. And I'm not talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I am talking about Sunny Hostin. Her family are a family of colonizers. Okay? She likes to call everybody racist. Meanwhile, her mama was a whole white woman saying that she was black. And then when confronted about it, lied and said, oh, well, I just feel so connected to. Girl, you are in no moral authority to say anything about anybody. Your entire family are frauds.
I can tell you with authority because I was actually there that day. And serving in Congress, I've viewed all of the security tapes within the Capitol. Also, I can tell you because I was in White House meetings, spoke with the president leading up to then. I know that he requested 10,000 National Guard troops to be there on January 6th. Nancy Pelosi denied that. Also, Sergeant Sund, head of the Capitol Police, has testified that he asked for backup and was not even responded to for hours and hours and hours.
Does he still support the January 6th rioters?
I support the people that, so first off, over 95% of BLM and Antifa rioters, their charges were dropped. They were never prosecuted.
Do you believe that Antifa and not the January 6th rioters
I'm against a two-tier justice system. January 6ers, almost 100% were prosecuted and were sent to prison.
And do you think that
I'm also against solitary confinement, which your mayor of this city just signed an executive order against.
Do you believe that Trump was responsible for the insurrection on the Capitol?
No, he did not plan it. He did not order it. And I can...
All you hear is all white women who are liberal as ever, okay? They are just so upset and mad. Like, she won't say it. She won't say it. It didn't happen. How many times do you have to tell the 92%, okay? You know who those are, the Jasmine Crockett's, okay? How many times do you have to tell the 92% and how many times do you have to tell white liberal women that Donald Trump did not do it? He did not say that. And they're just moaning and groaning in the audience. Okay. And here comes Joy No Heart, to talk about whatever. Because she doesn't have anything to add to the conversation, honestly.
He encouraged. You don't think he incited
He
an
said
insurrection?
people go peacefully and make your voices heard. He's on record on video saying these things. I'm telling you the facts.
But he was
whether
complimenting them, so that encouraged them. Come on.
I don't agree with political violence.
If what he did is complimenting them and that is encouraging, I encourage you to stop wearing that makeup. It's absolutely atrocious. See if that works. Like, Joy just says, and this is what I mean. There's absolutely nothing. She doesn't know any policies. She doesn't know anything about politics. She just knows that she doesn't like Trump. And they just let her talk. They just let her talk. It's like watching the grumpy old men.
So I spoke out against Antifa destroying property and hurting people, BLM rioters destroying property, and January 6th rioters. I am on record over and over saying that was wrong. However, what I'm against is a two-tiered political system that prosecutes one political protester to the hilt and then lets off other political protesters.
She tried. I guess she tried. She absolutely tried. Here's the thing about it. They absolutely don't care to tell their audience the truth, because if they did, they would absolutely agree that, yes, Donald Trump was lied on. And we already know about the $10 billion lawsuit of BBC, okay? Like, BBC has to pay Donald Trump because they absolutely lied. So I don't understand why we keep saying that Donald Trump said something that he didn't say. It's already been proven. It's proven. But, you can't tell them anything.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at all. The BBC spliced together two clips that took place 54 minutes apart. So let's go through it again.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
Now, see there, between capital and, that's a cut. Here's what Trump actually said.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
It's different. It wasn't until nearly an hour later that he then said the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we fight. We fight like hell.
Absolutely atrocious. So what Marjorie Taylor Greene said was absolutely correct. You have a liberal media source like BBC, okay? I don't know who decided this, because BBC is saying that, you know, their company that they use, I think it's Panorama, they did it, but it doesn't matter. You're the head person in charge, okay? BBC. All right. I've gone on there and debated people on there. So, you know, it's not necessarily, you know, people, individuals. This is a concerted effort by somebody at the top. Okay. Just like at CBS. Okay. Because you have journalists that actually want to do their jobs at CBS, even though it's a liberal network, but somebody at the top wants something else. It was that way with the Epstein files, and it was that way with Hunter Biden's laptop over there at CBS. I've reported on that a couple of times. At the end of the day, they do not care. And the reason why, you guys, I don't have any more from Marjorie Taylor Greene is because the rest of that interview was trash. So it's not worth my time or yours. All right. Our time is valuable. It's very valuable, and I don't want to waste it. So I don't have anything else to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene on that topic. All right, because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for pulling up. I do appreciate everybody that pulled up today, that always give to the platform. Thank you to Mike That Dude on Cash App. I did get it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who watches these live streams after, because I know they are long. So that's why I do the timestamps. But thank you to people who support this platform, period. So thank you guys. I see y'all in the chat. Y'all are hilarious. Thank you, Mr. Renegade. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate your love. Thank you to Rob Maddock. Thank you, Gerald Sparrow. I see you. Thank you. Thank you to Nicholas. I appreciate you. Shadow Dragon TV. Menelik. Dion. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Echo Jedi. The Muppets. Hilarious. Thank you, The Real Too Smart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you to who else we got in here? The Genius CEO. Thank you so much. Thank you, Scoop. Thank you. Who else we got? Jeremy Harris. I appreciate you. Cap'n Caveman. That's funny. Eddie, thank you. Jay Hustler Uncut, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Yakar. Thank you, DMAC Videos. Thank you, T Brew One. Who else do we have in the building? I think I said that one. Thank you, DJ Ace Productions. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jermaine Boyd. All right. Thank you to who else we have here? Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Joe. I appreciate you. And thank you for your super chat. That is amazing. Thank you to Loud and Clear. Who else? Thank you, Cybersecurity. I appreciate you. Thank you to True Patriot. I appreciate you. Thank you to Alicia. Thank you to Outlaw. I appreciate you. And Lone Star Rider or Raider. Lone Star Raider. Thank you. Thank you, J Pitt City. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and your super chat. Thank you. Who else we got? Drama City. Thank you. I see you in the building. Who else we got in the building? Triple Skrilla. Thank you. Thank you for the love of Jesus. 22. Thank you. Mega City 1. Thank you. Ryan Wright. Thank you. They did F around and found out. Michael Armstrong. Thank you. And thank you for the super chats. Eric Harris. Crown Me. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that pulled up today, you guys. I appreciate you. NFL Gun, thank you so much. Sierra Henderson, thank you. I think I got most of you guys. Greg, thank you. The Legend of Nick, thank you. Jay, thank you. Brian Fisher, thank you. I think I got everybody I could get. Yep. You guys, thank you so much. As always, I appreciate you. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, share if you care. Thank you to everybody. As always, it's your girl, Mika. I'm here Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm here doing live streams. Lord. And then the rest of the week, I do videos. So thank you so much for supporting. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't. It's your girl, Mika, and I'm out. Peace.
Wake up, wake up.